Okay, so we'll continue with same thing. If you have a container, and from container, if we make a hole, the liquid comes out, and the velocity at which the liquid comes out is √2gh, and we can calculate the change in pressure also. And when the liquid comes out, it is like this. Whether the water jet, if you hold a water pipe, as the liquid flows out, it exerts a force on that also. We have done that in the previous case. Force will be equal to dm by dt into v, which equals rho a v square. Now let's try and understand this question here. There's a cylindrical container here. You can all easily understand this figure. So from here it is suspended here. This is so cylindrical container is suspended through some means here about its axis, and it has two tubes. If I look from the top, this is 3D view, and what you see in the bottom is like a top view. If you view from the top, this is the point of suspension about which it is free to rotate, and two L-shaped tubes are connected. So if tubes are not connected, liquid would have flown out from here. The liquid now will flow out from here. The liquid will flow out like this. So you can imagine, so as soon as open the hole, what would happen to this container? Some of you should be able to visualize what is happening here. So cylindrical of radius 2r and height h is completely filled with a liquid. It is connected with two L-shaped pipes or small area A. The small area means I can use that approximation. The velocity is equal to √2 into height of water level from the hole. The pipes are in the horizontal plane, and as soon as the two pipes are open, the liquid starts flowing. What is the torque exerted by the ejected liquid on the system? So can we calculate the torque? So previous case we have done force, and whenever the forces are there, and if you define on some axis, about an axis, it will have a torque. So let's do, and this is fairly simple question here. Force exerted by liquid efflux, that we have done in previous case also. The dm by dt into v, dm by dt is rho v, rho a v, so it becomes rho a v square. And how much is v square here? V is equal to √2g, height of liquid level from the hole. Height of liquid from level is h by 2. So V is equal to √gh, V square becomes gh. Okay, so this is the expression, this is the force exerted by liquid efflux. So liquid is flowing out like this. So liquid is which way the force will, if the liquid is flowing out, which way the liquid will apply force? The force exerted by the liquid will be like this, opposite direction. So it is exerting a force F. This is the force F here. And from here also it is exerting a force F here. So because of this force F here, there will be torque here. And these two are equal and opposite forces. And equal and opposite forces constitute a torque. All I need to do find the torque here is force into perpendicular distance. I only need what is the distance between the two. And from the figure, it's easy to arrive at. This is 2r. This is r. And from here to here, this is 2r and r. So this becomes total 4r. 4r is the perpendicular distance, and we can calculate the torque also. And that's what we need to find here. Okay. Now looking at some of the questions, recent questions which have come in mains, and you notice some of the questions are fairly easy questions. Water flows into a large tank with flat bottom at the rate of, so some of the tanks will have a inflow. The tap is connected to a tank. So water is coming into the tank, and this rate 10 to the power minus 4. But water is also leaking out of a small hole of area 1 square centimeter at its bottom. If the height of water in the tank remains steady, then what is this height? At what height will the water level in the tank remain unchanged? What does it indicate? I think as far as if you look at the question, I think indication is very clear. It is very clear. If height of water level remains constant, so whatever rate water is flow in, water inflow rate has to be equal to water outflow rate. And what is rate at which water is flowing out? Area of the hole into velocity. That is the volume flow rate. So area velocity is √2gh, h being the height of water in the tank, which is in a steady state. So we'll just equate those two, and very easy question. This question could have been done in less than a minute kind of question. So very easy question. That's a height at which it will remain in equilibrium. So it can come in slightly different forms also. All we should know how to form that equation. Okay, there's some argument. Now next question. a rectangular hole is filled to the brim with water, and when hole is unplugged at the bottom, the tank is emptied in time capital T. If the tank is half filled, what is the time it will take to empty the tank? So we all understand here, whenever tank is filled up, and when you make a hole here, the water will start flowing out, and the flow rate at which water flows out will not remain constant. The rate will keep on changing. When the height is more, it will flow out faster. When the height of water tank as the water level keeps dropping, this will flow at a slower and slower pace. So can we calculate what is the time it takes to empty a tank? Let's not this question alone. Let's understand what is the relationship we form to find time to empty a tank here. Let's take a particular case of, as you know, as the time changes depending on h, we also will change. So we'll take a case where change in height of water level is very small. The water level drops from h by a small distance dh here. We are calculating in time interval dt, this drops by height dh. Okay, so time taken for water level to drop from h to dh, that's what we are calculating. And the water level will drop because water is flown out. So what is the water which has volume of water which is flown out in time t? This volume flow rate into dt, sorry, this volume flowing out in time dt will be equal to volume flow rate. Volume is equal to A into V into dt. And the velocity is root 2 gh. So this is the rate at which volume, sorry, not this is the volume of water which has flown out in time dt. That's why the water level has come down. So if this is the volume which has come down, this is the drop in, this is the volume dh and cross-section area. So dh into A indicates decrease in volume of water in the tank, which is volume which has flown out. Let's equate that one. A into dh, why I put a negative sign? H is decreasing, so minus A dh is the volume of water which is decreased in the tank, which is equal to volume which is flown out, all happen in time dt. So now we equation between height of water in the tank and time t, and depending on limit, so time to, suppose we have to calculate here. So for any height to any height, what is the time it will take? We can calculate with appropriate limits. So if I take integration, if I initial height is hi, final height is hf, the time taken also can be calculated, this equation. And if we have to calculate time taken to empty the tank, then initial height is capital H, final height is h naught. And I can empty, and any question can be solved. Once we formulate this equation, any question can be solved here. But if I have to calculate time to empty the tank here, the time taken becomes proportional to root h. So this is something, if you just keep in mind, no need to memorize that this is proportional to root h means what. So if I fill up the tank to height of 1 meter, suppose it has taken 1 hour to empty the tank. If I fill up the tank to height of 4 meter, it will take me 2 hours. It will take 1 hour to level to drop from 4 to 3, but 4 to 1, from 1 to 0, it will take for another 1 hour. So this is what proportional to root h mean. So here it becomes half, it becomes time taken will be equal to 1 by root. Okay, sorry, I think this is here done already. Okay, that's another type question you could have seen from the tap also. If you have tap opening like this, and if you just observe the stream when it is laminar, if the tap is not flow rate is not too high, when it is flowing in laminar flow, you'll see this how the water flow will stream look like. And as the water keeps falling, you notice what is happening. So everywhere the cross section would be circular, but radius of circular cross section will keep on decreasing. So as the water stream falls under gravity, area of cross section will keep decreasing, radius will keep on changing. So next question, this also is past examination question, and this also is based on this concept here. So when how the water stream cross section will change as the water falls under gravity. Let's solve this question. So consider a water jet of radius r that has there's a water jar of radius r here, and filled up to height h here. Height is at h given, kept on a stand of height h here. So it is you can imagine the scenario. There's a stand here, and height h, and there's small hole at the bottom. So here the 2r is the diameter, small r is the hole, we make it. Water leaks out and stream of water comes down towards the ground and shape will be like a funnel. And so this is kind of funnel. I can enlarge the funnel, may look something like this. If the radius of cross section of water stream when it hits the ground is x, then find the value of x. So here the radius is small r. When it hits the ground, the radius becomes x. We need to find what is x. And of course, x will depend on this value of h and capital H. So let's see how do we calculate here. So what is it based on? As the water level, as the water falls, its speed increases. As v changes, the cross-section area also will change because continuity equation will apply. A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. So this is based on continuity here. Velocity at the bottom of the tank here. We need to know, since I know interested in this cross section and this cross section. So I need velocity at this point and I need velocity at this point. Once I have two velocities, I can relate this areas also, area of a cross section, and hence I can find x. All I need is velocity at this point. Velocity at this point is equal to root 2 gh. And then I need velocity at, okay, area cross section related to velocity. And what is the velocity near the ground here? This point also velocity will be equal to, it has fallen by height, small h plus capital H. So velocity near the ground will be equal to 2g root of h small h plus capital H. So once we have these two velocities, I can write equation A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. I can find area of cross section or radius of cross section when it just hits the ground. So using continuity, z square into root 2gh is equal to pi x square 2gh plus h. So depending on whatever value of h and small h and capital H are given, we can find this radius. It's just based on application of conservation of mechanical energy and then conservation of mechanical, just like if object falling. All this case also, see what we had used, the same velocity will be same as object is falling under gravity without any loss of energy. Okay. So one more application of Bernoulli's is a venturimeter. Venturimeter is a tube which has two different cross sections. So study flow of liquid in a tube, but somewhere one of cross section at one place is different from other. And as the cross sections are different, velocities will be different. If velocities are different, pressure will be different. So if at two cross section, if I make a small hole, punch a hole here and connect a vertical tube here, the liquid will rise to different height. Why the liquid rises to different height? Before I solve, let's understand here. If the pressure here is PA, the pressure PA will be equal to atmospheric pressure plus rho g HA. And pressure at B will be equal to atmospheric pressure plus rho g HP here. So the H will depend on the pressure. If the pressure is more, it will rise to greater height. If pressure is less, it will rise to lesser height. And difference in the height of the liquid will indicate the pressure difference. So this is it is based on this concept, very simple concept. And let's try and solve. And this kind of questions also are important and easy to solve if you understand the basic logic. And it can come in any form. So basically what we understood here, so per pressure we can calculate, and then we can look at some variation also. So what is given the difference? This also passed to the exam question. The difference of in two tubes of the manometer is 5 centimeter. So what is given? I think some approximate figure is given, and actually this figure is not drawn correctly. So difference in level, water level in tubes connected in the pipe is given. And you should understand why the difference is coming. The difference is coming because of the difference in pressure. And pressure difference is there because pressure has varied because velocities have varied. And velocities have varied because of cross section. So change in area of cross section leads to change in velocity. Change in velocity leads to change in pressure. And change in pressure leads to different height of liquid column. So let's write the equation. Relationships are very similar. Area of cross section in a tube and A and B are given. So we need to find the rate at which water flows through the tube. And if I calculate this area as A1, this AA into VA, either I have to find this or I find this. Both will be same. This will be the rate at which water flows. We need to find this term. So once we find a velocity, we can easily find flow rate. Let's do that one. This is based on Bernoulli's equation. Let the velocity at A be equal to V. Then by continuity, velocity at B. See, velocity using A1. So basically, if I take velocity as V, so V into area of cross section A will be equal to VB into 10. So basically velocity at B by continuity equation becomes 0.6 B. And once I have this one, it's very simple equation. Okay. So I write this equation at A and B. Here heights are same. Heights are not changing. It is falling in the horizontal line. If it was vertical pipe, height difference also would have come. So 1 by 2 rho square plus pressure at A is equal to 1 by 2 rho velocity at B square into pressure at B. And how do I write pressure at A and B here? I'll find pressure A and B. I'll write in terms of the liquid height here. What is pressure at A? Pressure at A is equal to rho G into HA. And pressure at B is equal to, so pressure difference if you have to calculate, pressure difference between 2 points will be equal to rho G into delta H. So rho G HA minus rho G HB, which is nothing but rho G into delta H. Okay, here H1 and H2 are not given. What is directly given is height difference here, and which is relevant. Rho G into delta H is the pressure difference. Once I have pressure difference here, I write this pressure difference P, which will be, yeah. So pressure difference, I take this term here to this side. This term is equal to pressure difference. So naturally here, where kinetic energy velocity is less, this pressure will be more. So pressure difference is actually PB minus PA. The figure is not drawn correctly. Figure is misleading. They may draw something like this. Which one pressure is more? B pressure is more. So height of water column in B will be more. And which one we substitute, we can easily figure out. So delta P is equal to 1 by 2 rho. This term is square minus this term is square. And from here, we can easily find. And we substitute delta V in terms of rho into G into H by 100. We find the value of velocity. So this is a typical way of solving questions which are related to what you may call as a venturimeter. Once I have value of V, what is flow rate? Area of cross section A into velocity at A. So V is assumed to be velocity at cross section area A. I can find out the flow rate. Volume flow rate is A into V. Other thing is like a siphon system. The siphon system also is shown in the figure. And some of you might have tried also. This sometimes if you want to transfer water from, this is a tank like this. Okay, and if it is solid tank, if you want to draw water from the tank, one way of drawing water from the tank, if there's a hole, you can open the hole and collect water. If the hole is not there, and some of the tanks, I have done it many times, whenever you transfer water from water tank, one tank to other. If other tank is a water at a lower level, if you connect a pipe, which is initially, it has to be completely filled up with the liquid, and you fill up the pipe with the liquid, close it up with your thumb on both sides, dip inside the water, and as soon as you open the thumb, you see the water will start flowing. And velocity at which it will come out. So if rather than having this pipe, if I had connected a pipe like this also, velocity would have been same. Velocity would have been same. Or third way of saying, if we had a tank, something like this, and filled up to the same height, if I make an opening at this level, at same level as opening E here, the velocity would have been same. Okay, so what does velocity here depend on? So let's look at what is the equation we form here. So this is something velocity of a flux. Okay. So let's say after applying Bernoulli's equation, which 2 point we apply Bernoulli's equation to? We apply Bernoulli's equation to the liquid which is outside here. This liquid surface here, this is a cross section. The cross section, how this liquid is flowing like this, and point E here. So when you write equation here at B, what would be my terms here? If I take this as gravitational reference level, if I write all the terms at B for Bernoulli's equation, what would be the terms here? Pressure at B will be equal to atmospheric pressure plus rho G into H1. Kinetic energy is equivalent to 0. Cross-section area is large here. And by which point I'm taking just outside the tube. Just outside the tube, pressure is P0. This term is 0 plus 1 by 2 rho V square. So what do we find? What is the velocity at which it comes out? It is equal to rho GH, H being the height of liquid level in the tank. Okay, so that is something, and this is pressure P0 here, and as just not here, pressure is P0 here. Now, once we have velocity, there may be other questions also related to this. What could be other question? If this velocity is V naught, this velocity we find V here. And let's say this point also, this point A is inside the tube. This point will have certain velocity. This point will have certain velocity. Point D also will have certain velocity. So if we ask you between E and velocity at E and velocity at D, which will have greater velocity? Velocity E and velocity D, which will have greater velocity? So some will start thinking this point is lower, this will have greater velocity, this will have smaller velocity. Actually not. Okay, here also we have taken point E, whatever velocity it has just outside the pipe, similar velocity will have just inside the pipe. And if I apply, if it is a uniform pipe, because of continuity everywhere inside the tube here, siphon tube, everywhere cross section is same. So everywhere inside the tube, the velocity will be same. The velocity at all points inside the tube will be same, which will be equal to this velocity which is coming out. Yes.
So, but do you still obey the energy conservation, like the Bernoulli's equation?
It has to obey. That's why next point you're coming to. So basically, see, why is velocity constant? What is the reason for velocity to be constant? Tell me.
Because the volume flow rate, mass flow rate.
Continuity has to be there. There's no doubt on that. So velocity, if pipe has a uniform cross section, all through the pipe velocity is same. So this point also velocity V and this velocity V. But we understand here, when I look at this point here, this is at a certain height h here. So how is that possible? This point velocity and this point velocity is same. And we can understand if I apply Bernoulli's equation between point E and D. If I write an equation between point E and D, pressure at D and pressure at C. Pressure at D and C will be equal. How would I calculate that equation? Let me apply Bernoulli's equation between point D and E. At E, equation is P naught plus 1 by 2 rho V square. This velocity what we are calculating. What is about rho and what I have taken, there's no GH term because I have taken the gravitational potential energy reference as same level as point E. So here there's no rho GH term. But when I calculate pressure at D, we don't know what the pressure at D is. The pressure at D is 1 by 2 rho V square plus rho G H1 plus H2. So what we find from here, these two terms velocity have to be same. So this cancels out. What is pressure at D? Pressure at D is equal to P naught minus rho G H1 plus H2. So it implies that pressure at point D will be lower than atmospheric pressure. This pressure is lower than atmospheric pressure. And actually, if you make a small hole here, the water will not flow out from here. This is something water flows from higher pressure to lower pressure. Outside pressure will be larger than inside pressure. This would be at a gauge pressure of rho G H1 plus H2. So as we keep going up, there will be suction pressure. So if this point also, if it is liquid is flowing, and if we make a similar way pipe, if we make a pipe which is made of the very kind of flimsy material, it will tend to contract. It will tend to contract because outside pressure becomes greater than inside pressure. So the inside pressure will be, as we keep going up, pressure will keep dropping. And this is the 2 points where the pressure will be minimum. As we go down, again, pressure will change, rho GH. So this is what happens in case of siphon. Okay, so that is what for fluid statics and fluid dynamics. So most of the things here covered.